Welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and today we are going to work on a number of thrifted items. In particular, because the new year, a lot of times people are getting organized. So I'm going to have a couple of videos coming up that help you be able to kind of organize, tidy up, that sort of thing. So today we're going to focus on hooks, so hanging things, getting them up off the ground. This thrifted for $4, $3.99. That's 10%, so for $3.60. So cute, but you know, plain. So we're gonna zhuzh it up a little bit. We've got this. Now, word hooks are not so popular anymore, but they still have a market. This is cast iron, but the color just doesn't work. It doesn't look very hopeful. So we need to switch that out. I have this old plaque, and all right, nothing special. The only thing that's nice about it is that it has all of these beveled edges. So that's kind of nice. It's got holes in it. I don't care. I'm just going to use that. I think it was 50 cents, so not a big deal. And then I have one of these shelves. So, you know, you can store things on top. We're going to add some little hooks, knobs, something on the bottom here so that it becomes more practical. These are easy to find, thrifted. I think it was $2. So we're not looking at major expenses here. So what I am looking at doing is doing them all in a slightly, excuse me, in a slightly different finish. So to start, we're going to paint this one out in dark green. So Bayberry from Fusion, and we're just talking base coats here. This one, what did I want to do with this one? Okay, this one I'm going to do in Homestead Blue, which is a lovely kind of mid-tone blue. Homestead or Seaside? Seaside. I'm going to do Seaside. I'm just separating them so that I remember what I told you I'm doing. Now what do we want to do? So that's a start to that. I'm just debating these guys. I think I'm not sure what I think. What do I think? What are you thinking, Cindy? I'm thinking gray. No, I'm not. This has to go light. I need this to go light. So let's do this. I'm going to paint this black. I hate the distressing job that's on here. So we're going to paint it black to start. So I'm going to use coal black. And this one, we're going to brighten it up. So we're going to go French eggshell. So a nice soft blue. That's the start for these projects. And what I'm going to do off camera, because y'all don't need to watch me just paint. Right? I'm thinking. You know how to do that part. So, green over here, black over here, blue over here, and a dark blue over here as the first step for each of these projects. All with Fusion, and then we'll take it from there. While it's a little bit quiet in here, let me talk about next steps for some things. This was our kind of orangey colored cast iron hooks. We've painted it out in French eggshell from Fusion. And all that I'm going to do to this, so this is in essence done, and it is sealed. So if you like it in the matte, you could be done. I am just going to give it a spray with a gloss coat. I just want it a little bit dressier. So I'm going to spray this with a gloss and then let it dry, and it's done. This, we still need to do some work on this board. So in essence, I am going to, I'm just looking going, this was the front. Okay, so I'm going to paint it white. And I'm going to use beadboard by DIY because I'm going to want to distress it. So I'll come back once that's painted white. I got a splotch of French eggshell on it, but I'll just cover that with white, so it'll be okay. So that's gonna get painted white. This little guy, on my desk, somewhere on my desk in this mishmash, I have some gold gilding wax. This happens to be Annie Sloan. And all that I'm going to do, I've got a little bit on my hand, I'm just going to kind of highlight some of the edges and the details. And then I'm gonna leave it. I like the bayberry color, that fusion color. I just wanna highlight with a little bit of gold. You see that? So we're gonna carry on and do that. The other thing that I'm doing, this, I am going to add, we've got a little bit more to go on this one. So, next step for this is just to, I have from the traditional pots transfer from IOD. And you get a bunch of labels, right? And some of them are in black, some are in blue, and you get one sheet of white. And white is gonna work perfect for this particular piece and where I'm going with it. I just want to sort of get it centered. So let me measure just in case here. Because my paint is sealed, this is going to adhere really easily and really well. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the next steps. Now, I'm thinking I have 2 steps left. We'll see once I get this on how I feel about it, but I'm still thinking 2. All right, so I'm just going to adhere this. Just rub it, and then it's good. So we've got the hope, we've got this one being painted white, this one getting the gold gilding, and then this one we're rubbing on the white. Okay, 4 projects. I haven't forgotten anything. All right, we're good. For this one, there's our little, just our little angel, little sign. Next step, I'm going to, now this paint is sealed, so I'm applying the white wax not to seal it, but as a decorative element instead. So I'm taking an old ratty chip brush and I am just going to cover the surface of this paint. Now, normally, fusion dries pretty smooth, but this wood has a bit of a rough texture to it. You can kind of see almost as it's going on that it's got a bit of roughness, a bit of texture. So we're gonna use that to our advantage and we're gonna soften this piece a little bit. And so what I'm gonna do over the whole piece is get that painted, take a lint-free rag, and I'm gonna wipe it back. Okay, so the amount I wipe it back is really dependent upon me. If I wanted to take it even further, so you can see the difference in color, right? If I wanted to take it even further, I could dip this into a clear rag and wipe it more. Sorry, dip it into clear wax. Did I say clear rag? Okay, sometimes. I could dip it into clear wax and then rub it even more. Because that fusion is sealed already, we'd be able to take it back a little bit. But I want that kind of foggy, smoky look versus this, right? So I'm gonna do that over the whole piece. And then what I have, I thrifted these little white porcelain knobs. And so, because we're doing hangers, this has got a little shelf, but we've also got the hanger, I am going to attach 3 of them. So 1, 2, and a third one here. And then this one will be done. I'm getting there. for this one, I am going to dry sand it just to be able to smooth out the surface. And then I am going to wet distress the edges to be able to bring back some of that black. Ultimately, it then gets sealed with clear wax because this DIY is not sealed. So it's going to have to get sealed with clear wax. And then I'm going to attach the hardware. And the hardware that I'm using for hooks are these. So little plumbing, little kind of elbow joint things with a cap. And I pre-drilled holes so that I can just drill those on. But, you know, we're going for different looks here. So more of an industrial look. So don't overlook things from, you know, the hardware store in different areas and how to be able to use them in different ways, because you can get some really awesome looks of things with just simply, you know, makes great sturdy hooks. Let's take a look at our finished pieces. Now, what I wanted to do with this video was to give you some ideas on hanging options. So if you've got wall space, you're looking to get things up off of the floor, I'm just distracted by an open cupboard. Then, you know, these all started from thrifted items. So, you know, I love cast iron, but sometimes you just don't want it black. And somehow, you know, that orangey colored finish that was on here wasn't rusted. It was like some weird color. Didn't do the word hope any justice. And I like it better in this lighter color. It's a little softer, but again, nice and cute. And quite honestly, I like this not in the matte. For whatever reason, I very rarely do glossy, and it's not super glossy, but it just looks a little bit more finished for me. So go wild on that. I don't know why. I loved this little metal hanger, but it was just in that tan color, like just in a plain taupe. And I love the richness of the green with a little bit of the gold. And I've deliberately used different looks, different finishes, different kinds of hangers for you to give you some different ideas on how you can switch these things up and, you know, give them a different look. Be able to zhuzh them up in a way that makes sense for your home. Or if you're a reseller, giving your customers options. So rather than just doing everything maybe like a distressed white, unless of course that's exactly what's selling in your area. Now this one, it was just the plain wood, right? Just the plain kind of cheap, inexpensive kind of wood. And what we've done is we've painted it out the blue from Fusion. We've use some of the white wax to soften it. We did a little bit of an IOD transfer, which is just enough to kind of fit in that space to fill it up. And then we've offset the hanging hardware to be able to take advantage of the curved. It's got a little plate rail up here, but you've got the extra shelving for it. And these make great little hangers. So whether you're hanging aprons in a kitchen, you're putting little teapots up here, you're hanging jewelry in a bedroom, you know, hanging your belts, your scarves, whatever it happens to be. The last one was that plank, and it was pretty heavy and pretty substantial. It's even heavier, more substantial now with adding on this. But I wanted to give you an idea of something a little bit more industrial perhaps. And again, just giving those different options. This is cute, definitely even in a coat room, great in a boy's room perhaps. It would be awesome just even hanging in a garage, and you're going to hang all your tools from it or something. So there's a lot of flexibility just by switching out the kinds of hooks that you're going to use. But I think this time of year is a great time for people, you know, you're organizing things, looking for some options to be able to have more places to put things away, get them up off the floor. Hooks are a great way of being able to do that. So whether you're doing it to organize your home and your space, whether you're doing it in your booths to help your customers get organized, I hope this gave you some options to be able to look at maybe some thrifted items a different way, be able to see how you could switch them up. You're not just having to go with standard hooks. You can use little drawer pulls. You can use even hardware in new and unusual ways. Hope this is helpful. Let me know what you think as always, and I certainly look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.